Hey everybody, this is Jill for today. Thank you for coming into my kitchen. It's awfully good to have you here. It's fall and it's pumpkin season, but everybody loves coffee cake and everybody loves cookies. I am making pumpkin coffee cake cookies with a drizzle on top. Yum, yum. All right, let's get down here to the bowl and we're going to start cooking. Here I have some all-purpose flour. Actually, this is unbleached. You're welcome to use all-purpose or unbleached. So that's what I have in there. Then I have a selection of, this is cinnamon, a little bit of pumpkin pie spice, a little bit of salt, and some baking soda. And that's going to go in there. And I'm going to just give this a whisk. Doesn't that sound interesting? Pumpkin coffee cake cookies. Oh, that sounds kind of cool. So I'm going to get this all mixed in. So all those seasonings and salt and baking soda are in there. And that looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to move this out of the way. And I'm going to bring in my mixer. And in my mixer, I currently have half a cup of softened butter. And I'm going to add, got some brown sugar and some white sugar there, equal portions. And I will have the ingredients and all those instructions in the box down below the video. It says show more. And if you do that, you will see the video, the recipe pop down. Speaking of popping down, there we go. That's getting harder and harder for me. I'm going to put this beater in here. If you had a hand mixer, you could certainly do it with a hand mixer. And I think probably you could also do it with a spoon. But we're going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to get it started, get nice and creamy, nice and creamy. And once I'm done with that, I'll bring it back. We will go on to the next step. Okay, so we've got this, I think, nicely creamed. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a scrape here. Always got to scrape that bowl down. Get that off the blade. Okay, now I'm going to be adding some pumpkin. And I don't know whether you can come over here, director, and check this out. This is a pumpkin that just, it's libbies on the label. It's canned pumpkin. And if you see, look at that. This has been sitting about 45 minutes. And you get some of that extra liquid out of there. So you get that intense, delicious pumpkin flavor, but it doesn't overwater your dough. So I've done that. It's not, you don't have to do it, but it does make a nice little bit of a difference. I'm going to stick that in there. I can rinse my hand real quick. And I'm going to add 2 eggs that I've just partially beaten there. And I'm also going to add some vanilla. And I am a vanilla freak, so I'm going to, or it's about 1.5 teaspoons. Love it. Okay, there we go. And I can see I got that. Yep, that's what I have. So I'm going to bring this up and I'm going to get this nicely beat up and, all creamy and combined. And then we'll go on to that next step. All right, so there we go. Got that mixed in there. And now I'm going to add the flour mixture in. That all in there. And I'm just going to mix this until it's well combined. I'm not going to sit here beat. So it'll take a moment or two. I won't bore you with this. When I'm ready to go on to the next step, I'll bring it back in. And there we are. And as you can see, this is a loose dough. Almost, it's not quite a batter, but it's a loose dough. And what I'm going to do with this now is I'm going to, I'll put it in a container only because I can't get this bowl into my refrigerator. I'm going to put it into a container and I'm going to put it in the fridge for about 45 minutes. That's going to help that butter kind of, firm up a little bit more. And then it'll be easier to scoop that way. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll be back in about 45 minutes. 45 minutes later, we are going to be scooping out some of this dough. And I'm using a 1-inch scoop. It's going to spread. This cookie is going to spread. So if you are going to use a larger scoop, you might want to think of doing maybe 8 on a cookie sheet instead of 12. And I'm going to do 12, and hopefully that will be that will be fine. So as you can see, it has firmed up. It's still a very soft dough, very soft, but it's scoopable. So if you have like a tablespoon or a teaspoon, you can use that. You don't need a fancy scoop. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to put a dozen on this sheet. It's going to take about 15 minutes in my oven. I'll let you know exactly what it took in mine, and I'll bring them out and we're going to cool them, and then we're going to drizzle a little, kind of a powdered sugar milk with a little bit of maple syrup in it. So we will come back when we are ready to taste these cookies. Later the same day. Now I baked up a batch, and I saw so many flaws, and so did the director. I made them, we tasted them. The taste is great, but I didn't like the way they were turning out. So in true transparency, this is what they came out as. Too high. I mean, if you like a cookie like this, then all you're going to want to do is just drop the teaspoons or scoops on your cookie sheet and bake them like this. We like a flatter cookie. And so what I'm going to do is, this is a second batch, and I'm going to do basically the same thing I did before. I'm using a 1-inch scoop, which usually gives me a perfect 2-inch cookie. So I'm just going to do a few here just to demonstrate what I'm going to do. All right, I'll just do this 3 here so you get the idea. And it is a sticky dough. Yeah, I'm going to tell you that it's a sticky dough, which is not necessarily a bad thing. So I'm going to put my hand in a little bit of water, and I'm going to press it out, because really those are just too high. We're not a big high, that kind of a cookie person. We like ours flatter, maybe a little more on the crispy side. So that's what I'm going to do with mine. I'm going to do all dozen like that and put them in the oven, and we'll see. I mean, the taste is very good. We thought the taste was good, but we didn't like the texture. So those are going to go into the 355-degree preheated oven, about the center of the oven, a little lower than the center. And I'm going to, these other ones cooked 12 minutes. I suspect these may cook a little less, and I will let you know. So we're going to move on, get these baked off, see how they look, and then we're going to put a fab drizzle on them, and then we'll try them. So I baked these. They took 10 minutes. But let me look. Let me show you this here. This was the old one, and this is the new one. So not so much. Not so much. Not so much. So we are gonna glaze these. This is a glaze I made with powdered sugar, a little milk, and a little maple syrup. And let's see how thick that is. It's like pancake batter, I'd say. And I'm going to just do a little roundabout drizzle here. And one thing I wanted to show you is underneath this cookie sheet or rack, I've got a piece of wax paper down there. So if any of this, drips, it drips onto the wax paper and not on your counter. So that's a nice little tip for you. So, I'm just going to let these set up. That's going to take, I don't know, half hour. These cookies are very cold. I want to start there with cold cookies, cooled. And then this icing should set up half hour-ish. And then we can come back in and take another taste. And it'll be interesting to see if the taste of it changed at all, or the density of it changed. But it didn't. It didn't. I thought for sure this would really, flatten them out. And it didn't. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, hit or miss on these cookies, Randy?
They're very tasty.
They are tasty. I guess it's the texture, maybe. I'm not sure. I mean, it's a good cakey kind of cookie. I guess that's the thing to do. We like a more crispy, chewy cookie. And these are more cake-like. And if you are a cake-like type of person, I think that this is your, it's what you're going to want, because the flavor is extremely nice. It's very fall. You get the pumpkin and all those spices. But if you're looking for a more chewy, dense cookie, yeah, you might look a little further. But we're going to take a taste. So don't go away. We'll let this firm up, and then we'll take a taste. So we are back for a tasting, and we did some different things with the glaze, and I'll have you come down here and take a look. This was the glazing that I did. It was just the drizzle effect. And the director had said, well, what if you dipped it into the glaze? And that's what this one is. So Anyway, that's how they glazed up. Would you like to try one, Director, and tell me what you think? Of course, he's taken the one that's had the full dip.
I'm a glaze kind of guy.
All right. The glaze did firm up nicely. The texture is better. It's not as light. Don't you agree?
It's still very soft, but
it's a soft cookie.
It's not as fluffy.
It's a soft cookie, but I think that's good.
It's good for a cake cookie. It's delicious.
Absolutely. Oh, I think it's great flavor. Oh my gosh.
I've only had a half a dozen of them this afternoon.
I haven't. So this is the first time I've tried it. Yeah. He's always pre-tasting. I taste on the spot. Well, yeah. These are small, as you can see. I mean, it's about a 2-inch cookie. If you wanted to make a larger cookie, of course, you could use a bigger scoop. But this is a nice size. You have a couple of those, with your coffee or your tea, and make a nice little morning snack. Anyway, I say go for it. If you're going to glaze them, you can bake up a bunch of them and freeze them. Bring them out. Don't glaze them before you freeze them. But then glaze them as you need them. And that glaze, if you make a glaze like this, it lasts a good week in your fridge. It's just a little milk and some powdered sugar. And if you want to either use vanilla or maybe a little maple syrup to kind of flavor it up. And that's that. The recipe will be down in the description box where the video is. Look down below the video. There's a box that says more. Click on that and the recipe will drop down. I hope you'll subscribe to my channel. I hope you'll tell your friends about my channel. I hope that you'll subscribe and give me a thumbs up because the algorithms love the thumbs up. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.